hand to mouth. I'm aware there are many of them living hand to mouth. As they sell today, they are in the supermarkets, they are in the stores, spending the money. These are people for 14 days. They don't know how they're going to survive. So we have to be conscious of these people. Madam President. Madam President, the PM stated that we are fighting two wars, and he's correct. We are fighting the war on Corona on one side, and we are fighting an economic war on the other side. But he did say, Madam President, that for the time being, we need to focus on fighting one war, and we will look at the other war later. Madam President, I would like to respectfully advise that we look at both wars simultaneously for the very reasons that I highlighted. The persons who do not know how they're going to buy a meal tomorrow, how they're going to survive tomorrow because their livelihoods have been cut for 14 days, Madam President, they cannot wait.
Prime Minister Alan Chastanet phoned into the widely popular Out Goes In with Andre Paul, Russell Lake and Clement Charlie Charles to clarify the aims and objectives of the Social Stabilization Program. He explains that contrary to some reports, the measure is not akin to an economic stimulus package. Chastanet contends that the goal right now is to assist displaced citizens, given that the world economy came to a sudden halt.
You're an individual, Andre. If you owe government taxes or you owe somebody taxes and you have very limited or no money coming in, are you going to spend your money on things that are not going to deal with you? That's human nature. And that is what's taking place. And I'm asking persons to basically think of all of us at this point. We have to find a way to collectively work together in order to ensure that we can survive it. And that's why that we felt it was important to differentiate a social stabilization program, which is completely different from an economic stimulus.
Fishers will not be getting any breaks on the cost of fuel. This was revealed by Prime Minister Alan Chastanet Tuesday when questions were posed to him on the need for economic stimulus as a result of COVID-19. Senior political correspondent Miguel Favre was among the Parliament press corps and filed this report.
Up until the last fuel price adjustment, government continued to collect more than the $4 excise tax per gallon of fuel. Even as prices dropped, consumers in some cases have been paying close to $2 on the gallon more than they are supposed to. When the excise tax was increased by 60% from $2.50 to $4 in 2017, the rationale put forward by both Prime Minister Alan Chastanet and Economic Development Minister Guy Joseph was that the extra $1.50 would be placed in a lockbox for use towards much-needed repair of the island's road network. But even before minibus operators called for a rebate on fuel as a result of severe revenue loss imposed by COVID-19 social distancing protocols, calls have been made for the island's fishers to get a break on fuel costs. And Alan Chastanet says,
no.
And the reason?
There's been no, it's not to fishers. We have a gas tax that's on that everyone's been contributing to. And, you know, I've heard the argument with regards to the fishermen. I'm very sympathetic to what that they're saying. But the reality is they use the roads like everybody else.
The average St. Lucian pelagic fisher uses approximately 45 gallons of gasoline per day. Average trips per week, 4.
And here's the question. Should we allow the price at the pump to go down to reflect the global prices? Or should we leave it at the level because we know at some point those prices are going to come back up? Yes, if you brought it down, given the economic crisis, that it could potentially help people. But at the same time, we want people to slow down. So maybe keeping the prices higher would help us doing that.